Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, and today I have a double page scrapbook layout for you. As you can see, I have these fun pictures of my boys and I sledding. We were just having a really good time in the snow. I've printed some in 3x3 and then the larger photos are 4x6. Along with the bluebell cardstock, I will be bringing in these two pattern papers from the Serenity collection. These are very pretty and I'm excited to use them. I also have the Elegant Snowflake stamp set in thin cuts, and then here's a sneak peek. This is from the January-February catalog, not released yet, and as you can see, they're going to be doing months of the year. I'm so excited. So we are ready to dive right in. So I am starting with two bluebell cardstock sheets here. And then this little pine cone border pattern paper is really pretty. And I'm just kind of thinking I'm going to cut it in half and use them as borders across the bottom of my layout. Now this layout was inspired by a sketch I found on Pinterest, and I will leave that in the description box below, but I pretty much know where I want to place my photos because I have that sketch off to the side of my desk that I'm using for reference. I really love printing my photos in multiple sizes. I think it gives you a lot of creative flexibility. So I know I want to bring in this kind of ombre paper with the splatters on the background. So I think I am going to place it behind these two photos, and then I will carry that across the layout onto the right hand side as well, because we want to have it feel very cohesive, like it's all one big layout. Normally I wait to glue things down, but I know that I am going to put this here. So we'll go ahead and get that glued down. And you know, this doesn't match up exactly with the color gradient on the opposite side, but in the end, when I have my photos and everything on it, it won't matter. So I'll go ahead and place my photos back down, and I feel like we pretty much have the bones of the layout. So I'm going to bring in some stamping here. I already have these mounted on the blocks, and we're using Sapphire ink. I'm going to bring in my little foam mat and some white daisy cardstock, and then I'm going to stamp these down. And I'll just show you 3 of them, and I'll do some off camera just to save time. Now you can get these with or without the coordinating thin cuts, but I always love to have the thin cuts. It just makes it so handy, and you don't have to fussy cut these out. So I'm just going to line them up and then secure them with a little post-it removable tape, and then I can run these through my die cutting machine and have some really fun, pretty embellishments. I love creating my own embellishments from my stamp images because you can color coordinate it so perfectly. There, aren't those pretty? I will go ahead and set those up to the top there, and there's the rest of them that I made, and we can bring out our layout again. So I saw this piece sitting off to the side. It's left over, and I thought, ooh, that might be pretty. And it's kind of a floral design if you've seen the rest of the Serenity collection. But to me, it looks like little frosted branch tips. So I thought it would work well for this layout. I've gone ahead and dovetailed the end. And then this is a branding strip, or a zip strip, as we like to call it. And I'm going to trim off just what I need. I don't want to waste any. So just the part that's going to be visible. And this is going to just kind of blend that transition between the bluebell and the vanilla cardstock below. So I've cut a piece to mirror on the opposite side, and we'll go ahead and get this situated into place. Now I'm going to arrange my photo. I want this kind of offset, and it's kind of funny because offset can be tricky. Sometimes it looks like it's falling off the page, and other times it looks intentional. So you just gotta play with it until you get the right angle. So I'm spreading my snowflakes across the layout. I am going to create a couple clusters, and we'll bring this one down to create a visual triangle. This area here is perfect for the title. So I'm going to bring in my alpha dies. Now this is from the core catalog. These are the classic alphabet dies. I'm going to pull off the letters to spell out the word snow. These dies are a good size for a nice bold title. They do measure about 1.5 inches tall. I always recommend having a good classic set of alpha dies because you will never run out of letters. So I am just using scraps to cut out these letters from Sapphire paper, and I'm going to just place these kind of overlapping the photos just like so. And now this is the simple serif. You can see it has the upper and the lowercase. It even comes with a stamp. I'm just going to use some Toffee Cardstock and cut out the word fun. Now the capital letters are just about 3/4 of an inch, so this is a really universal size. You can do a lot with this one. So since I brought in that toffee color, I definitely need to repeat that elsewhere on the layout. I saw this zip strip, so I thought it would look good. I'm going to swap this out. And I like the other one, but again, I feel like we need to bring in that toffee color in a few other areas just to have a better balance on this layout. So this is perfect. I'll go ahead and tuck these in just like so. And I'm feeling like it still needs something. I'm not going to put a random piece of paper up there. I'm just kind of looking at the color balance. And then I get the idea for the wood grain paper pack. And I'm like, oh, perfect. This wood grain paper pack is awesome. They're neutrals, so you can really add them to any paper pack out there. I've gone ahead and cut a few strips. These are 12 inches by 1 inch, and I'm going to just tuck one in the top and then mirror that down below on the bottom. And yes, that is exactly what this needed. So it brings in those warm earthy tones to balance out that tan and adds just a lot, don't you think? I'm just going to mess with it back and forth here to see how I want my placement, and I think that looks good. So we'll go ahead and snip that right across there, and then I can use my tape runner to get that tacked down. So these pictures were actually taken last February, and we got a crazy amount of snow. It's actually getting cold and snowing, supposed to snow tonight where I'm at, so we'll see. Maybe we'll wake up and be able to go sledding tomorrow. We live in a heavily wooded area, so the kids just took their toboggans and they just went trekking through the forest and, you know, sledding all day and exploring, and came back just wet and just exhausted, and it was awesome. So much fun. I do love the snow, but after a few days, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. It can melt and go bye-bye. Unfortunately, it tends to linger around and make a giant muddy mess, but that's okay. It's worth it, and we need it. So I'm just using a little liquid glue to tack my letters down. I always use liquid glue just because it gives me more flexibility and time to wiggle them into place. And so we'll place a block on it there to let it dry. And then I'm going to pop up some of the snowflakes with some 3D foam tape. So I'm going to put some directly on the layout and pop others up so we have different dimensions going on. You know how us scrapbookers love our dimension, right? Please tell me I'm not the only one. I put dimension on every layout, but maybe not everybody does that. I don't know. Leave me a comment below. Are you guys all about the dimension, or do you not like any bulk in your layouts? So we just about have all these little snowflakes tacked down here, and they're perfect. These are pretty. I love these snowflakes. We'll get this one taped down. And I like to just kind of cluster them and overlap. And now this area here I feel like needs a little something. So I printed out some journaling strips. And I just do this on my computer in Microsoft Word. I make a text box to the size I want and then just cut it out with my paper trimmer. So I'm bringing in these little tiny snowflakes, and again, that sapphire ink, I'm just going to season that on my arm because it's a brand new stamp, and then I'm going to add these little snowflakes around the bigger ones there. And again, this just adds some depth and layering. So we have this stamping on the cardstock, and then we have our snowflake die cuts. And so I'm just going to put a few of them about the page in each cluster, and yeah, maybe one down here. I think that looks good. And now we have a few words. These say winter and chillin'. So I thought I would just create a little phrase over here on the left-hand side. And I thought chillin' is definitely a good word to use with teenagers because that's what they do. They chill. And so we'll just go ahead and stamp this over here. The first one says winter. And I'm just going to wipe that off on my stamp chamois there and then switch out my word there. Sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. And we'll stamp chillin'. Perfect. I just thought that was kind of cute and fun. So here I have cut out of the stitch bracket the toffee paper. I've sanded the edge to reveal that white core of the cardstock, and I'm going to make a little tab up there. I've stamped the word sledding. This is from a stamp from my stash. And now I'm going to add a little liquid pearls. This is the white opal color. I'm kind of new to liquid pearls, just as last year, and I gotta say I'm hooked. I love them. They're fun, they're super easy, and they add texture, and they're just neat, and you can really use them for so much. So here's a still shot of this double page layout, and I'm pretty happy with it. I thought the paper was perfect for these photos. So thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. Here's another video you may enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.